Good afternoon, ladies. First of all, I want to say I had so much fun in that conversation yesterday. I actually stayed up until 5:30 commenting back, reading your stories or whatever, and I was having so much fun. I literally was choked up and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I've officially found my tribe." So, to be in this group, to be embraced by you ladies, to be like feeding off each other's great energy or whatever, I just feel like, oh, this is what I've been waiting for. So I just want to say with that, thank you, ladies. I appreciate your good energy. I appreciate the love. Love it. I feel at home. So, moving on to the next thing. How was my experience in Spain and Argentina? Okay, so just so you know, in Spain, I studied in Barcelona, in Salamanca, and I worked in Valencia. So these were 2 different summers and then a semester in Barcelona. And then in Argentina, I've been living there part-time between Argentina and Switzerland and the US for about a year and a half. So that's the background to the situation. In terms of Spain, I studied international business with a focus in marketing. So that's how I got to Spain in the first place. I was on a study abroad in Spain because I always knew I wanted to do international business. And so my first trip to Spain was in Salamanca, then Valencia working, then Barcelona, like I said, for the semester. In Argentina, the situation was very different. I had already learned Spanish for like 10 plus years. I feel very comfortable speaking it, but I had to kind of revamp it after only speaking German for a long time. And I just went to Argentina on a whim with my girlfriends. I went there for a vacation, and we had planned like a 2-week vacation. Went there. Buenos Aires was cool. It was very like Spanish. Iguazu Falls, by the way, if you haven't been there, you have to go to Iguazu Falls. It is amazing. I mean, before I went there, I thought, okay, how could people stare at water for a whole day? But then you get there and you're just like transfixed. It is incredible. So Iguazu was cool, but then we got to Mendoza, Argentina, and that is, in their words, la tierra de buen vino y sol. Mm. So it is wine country of the South. They produce by far the most wine in South America, so it's like a Napa Valley. I got there, and even though I don't drink wine, I love food. And so when I got there, I was just like, oh my gosh, completely loved it. Loved the culture, loved the people, loved the language, loved the nature. It was just home for me. So I was there for about 3 days, 3 or 4 days. Left to go to Santiago, changed my flight, went back and looked for an apartment, got one, have been living there part-time ever since. So that's the background on how I got to both places, to Spain and to Argentina. So let me start with Spain, because this is a place I always thought I would live for the rest of my life, and then let me go to Argentina later. Spain I really enjoyed, and even though I don't live there, I've actually gone to Spain at least once, twice, up to 3 times each year since 2006, no, 2005. 2005. So for 15 years, I've been to Spain every single year, multiple times. And so it's like a second, third home, whatever. And I really enjoy Spain. What do I enjoy about Spain in particular? I love the culture. It's very strong. In the US, we're not really used to a strong culture and customs and things feeling very traditional to our culture because we have so many different aspects to American culture. So when I got to Spain, it was very Spanish. That sounds kind of silly, but it was very Spanish, and I loved the culture. I love speaking Spanish because that was my first foreign language, and just to be able to speak it was fascinating to me, especially in that element where it doesn't sound like Mexican Spanish. I love speaking the language there. I also loved a funny one, very interesting one. Maybe I'll talk about this on a different video. But I actually loved that the guys were feeling me. So I don't know if you know, but Spanish guys, Italian guys love them some black women, okay? They love black women. And so I would be walking down the street with my white friends, and there'd be like a car full of guys riding down the street, and they'd be like, hola, chocolate. Or what do they call it? yeah, I think chocolate or canela or whatever, and they would just be like in awe of me. And so I got lots of flirtation, lots of attention, and it was in a respectful way but playful. And at the time when I first went, I was 21, so I wasn't like overthinking the whole respect aspect. I'm like, I'm here for a summer. I'm here to have fun. Had fun, had a great time. It was attention that I liked. So the guys are really feeling the black ladies there. That was really fun. In addition to that, the food is really good. It's really inexpensive too. And by the way, if you're planning on going to Spain, definitely try to go there in between like late July, late July to August, because that's when they have all the rebajas. All the rebajas are like all of the sales for the summer, and they're getting rid of all of their, summer clothes and bringing in the winter clothes. And they have sales, not like the US, they have much deeper discounts than in the US. So definitely, if you're going there, check it out in July, August. So I love that. I love the siesta culture. I love that they're not just out there working themselves to death. They actually enjoy life. They like soak it up. At lunchtime, they have, a nice family lunch. It's really freshly made. The food is so good. You go shopping every single day and you just really enjoy life there. I love that. What else do I love about Spain? I love the art and just the Spanish style. I love. And speaking of style, they are people who like to dress up. In certain countries, it's not so much like that, and it's different from country to country. Like, for example, Dubai, they definitely love to dress up, but it's a very chic, opulent, like, make sure you got an hour or two to go out every day, or to prepare before you go out today, every day. But in Spain, they really care about how they look. They go out well presented, they fix themselves up, and it's like they're proud of themselves. And I love the way that people really present themselves in the best way possible when they go out to the world. I know that not everybody loves that, and hey, if you like to go out in pajamas, do you. But I personally like the way that they really like to present themselves, and it gives me an opportunity, me who like to do that also, the opportunity to feel at home and comfortable there. I love the fact that they are super relaxed. We'll get back to that on the con side. But I love how they're super relaxed. And I love that they know how to celebrate. Like, by far, Spain has had the best parties I've ever been to. I so loved it so much. So I remember when I first went there for the first summer, I would take €5 out with me to go to the chupeteria, which is the bar that has only shots. They have like this huge menu of shots, and you can buy chupitas for €1 each. And after 5 shots, I'm done. And so I would buy my shots, and then at about 1 o'clock, yeah, roughly 1 o'clock, 1:30, the clubs open. And so you go to the clubs, you get the calimocho for free, which is Coca-Cola and red wine. Don't knock it till you try it, but it was free. You would go to the clubs at about 1:30 in the morning, and then you would finish at like 6 o'clock in the morning. And they just love to dance and party and have fun and let loose. And I really, really love that about the culture. Now that I'm not 21, I still love Spain. And last year I went there with my boyfriend, who is from Argentina, by the way. And my favorite part of Spain, actually, that I've discovered now, is the South. I love the South, and this kind of brings us to a little bit of history. So I took a history of Spain class in my international business studies, and Spain is so diverse. It has such a rich tapestry of cultures. In the north, in País Vasco, they have their own culture, they have their own language, in fact. And I think I'll make another video about this separately because there's so much. But in País Vasco, they have their own culture, their own language. In Galicia, they have their own language, their own culture. In central Spain, Castilla y León, they have their own culture. In the south of Spain, they definitely have their own culture, because if you don't know, the Moors from the Arabic region of Africa came, and they were in Spain for a long time. And so there's a lot of Middle Eastern influence in southern Spain, and you see it from La Alhambra, for example, which is a very popular castle throughout the whole region. And so they have a really rich, diverse interpretation or expression of their culture there, which is fantastic. You have to go there. It's so awesome, so relaxed, so chill. My boyfriend and I were there for about 10 days or 12 days last year, and I just didn't want to leave. I mean, the food is so cheap, the life is so easy and so relaxed. People are so friendly. I mean, so friendly, and and in general, it's just really good. It's just like it's like that kind of place where you're like, okay, I can live here. I can see that, and you wouldn't think about it twice. So I love Spain. I love its diversity, and my favorite part is the south. Barcelona. I lived there for 8 months. Not my favorite, I'm gonna say, because Catalunya, which is that part of Spain over there towards France, Catalunya, they want to be independent, and Catalunya includes Barcelona. Catalunya wants to be independent. They have their own language. I went to university there. I speak Spanish, but they also speak Catalan, and they want to speak Catalan when it comes to everything, every business, every school, whatever in the region. And they're like the California of Spain, where they earn a lot of the money that the country uses for its economy, and they feel like they should be independent. And that comes with a whole set of drama. Let's talk about the con side though, okay? Because there are a few things that you need to watch out for here. For Black people, you just got to know that most of the Black people there are of African descent. They come straight from the continent, and a lot of them come as refugees. A lot of them come as unemployed people, illegally or whatever. And the Spanish people don't like this at all. Now, there are situations where if it's not clear that you're American, you can get some you can get some shocking treatment, okay? And I'll tell you about that in a minute. But in general, they come as refugees, they come as unskilled workers, and a lot of African women, unfortunately, are prostitutes, especially in Barcelona, Madrid, the main cities. You'll find a lot of prostitution going on. So when they see a Black person, they automatically think that. I mean, even though I'm like, I'm American, you know, that has nothing to do with me. I still understand to a certain degree because they haven't actually had immigration for a long time. Just a little history on Spain. They had a dictator until the late 70s, okay, named Franco. And Franco was in charge from the Second World War up to the late 70s, and they were a closed culture. They outlawed a bunch of the dialects in the region. It was under very strict control. And so it's only been really since the mid-80s that they've had any kind of immigration. And so against the Africans, the racists, but also against the Argentinians, because they complain about how the Argentinian doctors come there and take the jobs, whatever. Anyway, so there's some, they're just getting used to foreigners being in their country because it hasn't been that long since immigration has been there in Spain. And so my experience one time, what happened was I was on Ibiza, the island, and I went there with my German boyfriend at the time, and we were just walking around the beach, and I came across this guy. I'm super friendly. I said, "Hi, hola, ¿cómo estás?" And he was like, "Hola, ¿cómo estás?" And then he said, "¿Quieres fallar? Te pago bien." And I said, "Oh my God, no, I'm American, I don't do that." So when you say "Quieres fallar," that means do you wanna have sex, okay? But in a very raunchy way. And he said, "I'll pay you well." And I wasn't soliciting anything, and I wasn't putting out anything for sale. And so I was just like, wow, like they really think every Black person is a prostitute. Like I can't say hello without him, putting in a bid. So I was like kind of caught off guard. And then I remember a separate occasion when I was walking down the street, minding my own business, walking down the street. I was living in Valencia at the time, and I had on high heels. Love wearing high heels. And I remember some older women were sitting out on a balcony, and I was walking, and they were like complaining about the sound of my clicking heels on the street. And I'm like, seriously, like you ain't got nothing better to do than complain about my heels. And so they're talking super loud so I can hear it, and I'm just like, whatever. And I also remember when I went to do my practica, my internship in Valencia, I had a sexual harassment situation where basically my employer was like looking me up and down, like saying like you look good and all this kind of stuff. And so I went back to the company that has set me up with the internship, and I said, you gotta change this, because I'm not gonna be going to work, have to worry about my safety. And they didn't really take me seriously. They didn't really heed my complaint, and I had to let them know it wasn't going down like that. So you can be dismissed, you can experience racism, but like realistically, I'm gonna go back to this theme every time I post a video. You have to know you, because you will experience adversity anywhere in the world. And if you let it get to you, then it's really just kind of, I mean, not that it's not out there, but if you let it get to you and disturb you, then it's not really something that you're completely confident about, like who you are and your race and, you know, how you are as a person. I mean, I've experienced some things, some issues before, but realistically, I never really boiled it down to race. I boiled it down to their ignorance, which is not my problem. So it's just like, okay, if you have a problem, okay, you can deal with it on your own terms, on your own time, but ain't got nothing to do with me. So anyway, racism can be an issue, okay? Another thing that is an issue, if you don't live there, it's not such a big deal, but if you live there, it can be a big deal. Mañana, mañana, todo mañana. Mañana, mañana, todo mañana. I want to speak that. Anyway, so they have a tomorrow culture, and this is one of the things that made me think, I don't know if I want to live here. So they they take forever to do anything. I remember I waited more than a month to get internet when I was living in Barcelona. And when it comes to housing, when it comes to appointments, you just never know if things are gonna get done. And even though, you know, I hadn't lived in Switzerland at the time, even in the States, that stuff doesn't fly. So if you wanna get things done and be about your business, it is kind of difficult sometimes there, depending on who you're dealing with, to get things done. If you're working in an international company, maybe it's different. But to rely on people there, it's really a hit or miss, and probably gonna be a miss a lot of the times. It's the same in Argentina, but we'll get to that in a minute. So more or less, I would say, in terms of Spain, if you're working in an industry where you don't have to be under such time pressure, you don't have to fret so much about punctuality, then Spain is actually a really great place to live. I don't know too many Americans who live in Spain. I don't know. But like I said, immigration hasn't been available to the world in Spain for a long time. I love it. I think you should definitely visit it. I go there every year, will continue to do so. And I would definitely try living there, probably in Sevilla or Alicante. Yeah, I would probably try either one of those. Madrid is like, it's okay, it's a little boring, but it's worth going to and checking out just for the palace and all that kind of stuff. But that's my take on Spain. I'm gonna cut this video and make another one for Argentina because we're already at 20 minutes.